August 13, 2018. Frederick, Colorado. At first glance, it looked like a normal Monday morning. A young mother and her two daughters were simply missing. But in just 72 hours, a quiet suburban husband, once seen as the all-American family man, would shatter the illusion of safety in the most horrifying way imaginable. This isn't just a story about murder. It's a story about masks and how easily they can slip. Shanann Watts was a vibrant woman, outspoken, energetic, a mother who documented nearly every moment of her family life on Facebook. Chris Watts, her husband, was reserved, a bit quiet, but loving, or so it seemed. Together, they had two daughters, 4-year-old Bella and 3-year-old Celeste, affectionately called Cece. The family lived in a picturesque 2-story house in a quiet neighborhood in Colorado. From the outside, everything appeared ideal. But sometimes, the most beautiful homes hide the ugliest secrets. Shanann returned home from a business trip at 1:48 a.m. on August 13th. She was 15 weeks pregnant with their third child, a boy she had already named Nico. Later that morning, she missed a doctor's appointment. She didn't answer texts. She didn't return calls. Her friend Nicole Atkinson grew concerned and drove to the Watts home. She knocked. No answer. Shanann's car was in the garage, her purse still inside. But Shanann? The kids? Gone. When police arrived for a welfare check, Chris seemed calm. A little too calm. He told officers his wife had taken the kids to a friend's house. But something was off. The neighbors noticed it. The police noticed it. Even the security footage noticed it. Neighbor Nate Trinastick had a security camera pointed directly at the Watts driveway. Together, he and the police watched the footage from early that morning. It showed Chris backing his truck into the garage, an unusual move for him. Over the next 45 minutes, he loaded and reloaded the vehicle. Chris tried to explain it away. "I was loading tools for work." But Nate wasn't buying it. After Chris left the room, Nate turned to the officer and whispered, "He's not acting right, man. He's fidgety. And he never backs his truck in like that. Never." Investigators began digging. Chris consented to a polygraph test. The examiner told him point blank before it started, "If you had anything to do with Shanann's disappearance, now's the time to tell me." He insisted he was innocent. He failed, spectacularly. Within hours, cracks began to show. Investigators discovered Chris had been having an affair with a coworker named Nicole Kessinger. He had told Nicole he was separated. He wasn't. He told her his wife was pregnant. He denied it. He even told her they were finalizing a divorce. There were no filings. Nicole later said, "If I had known he was married with kids, I'd never have spoken to him." The mask was slipping. On August 15th, Chris finally asked to speak to his father, Ronnie Watts, before making a confession. In a moment that felt both chilling and surreal, Chris whispered the unthinkable. "She hurt the kids. So I had to do the same to her." It was a lie. A last-ditch attempt to redirect blame onto the very woman he had killed. But the truth was even darker. Under pressure, he finally confessed. Chris had strangled Shanann in their bedroom after she confronted him about the affair. She never screamed, never fought back. She only cried. Bella walked in moments later. "What's wrong with Mommy?" she asked softly. Chris wrapped Shanann's body in a bedsheet and dragged her downstairs. Then, he loaded her into the back of his truck. Then he brought his daughters, alive. The drive to the oil field was 45 minutes. During that time, Bella and Cece sat silently beside their mother's corpse. One can only imagine what went through those little minds. At the remote Anadarko oil site, he smothered Cece with a blanket and dropped her into an oil tank. Then Bella, the older of the two, asked, "Is the same thing going to happen to me as Cece?" It did. Chris later said Bella fought back. She bit her tongue. She knew. He buried Shanann in a shallow grave nearby. Chris Watts was arrested on August 15th and later pled guilty to all charges. He received 5 life sentences, 3 without the possibility of parole. He'll die in prison. Nicole Kessinger went into hiding. Shanann's family now lives with a grief that words can't contain. And the internet has immortalized their story as a cautionary tale of love, betrayal, and murder. Chris Watts didn't snap. He didn't lose control. He made a series of cold, calculated decisions to erase his family for a fantasy life with another woman. His face is the face of a modern monster. Not a stranger in a dark alley, but a man in your neighborhood, with a smile and a secret. Loudspeaker, if this story disturbed you, share it. Talk about it. Because behind every smiling photo, behind every perfect life, there might be echoes of crime. Subscribe and hit the notification bell for other stories.